Richard Heilemann, South El Monte High School. Today we're going to be extending 1984 into a contemporary context. I'm teaching 1984. I like this module because I feel like 1984 is something that taps into my students' experiences. They're going to be dancing with the text. They're going to be manipulating their thinking mediated through what the author of the text is trying to do. And they know to think through their reading in that way.
I connected the poem to the book, 1984, and I feel like that room is waiting because of the title. It's like a facade. So in that room, there's emptiness, and there's like maybe there's just one fly, and it's just waiting to be opened. But it's a facade, like to show something that's not really there, to make them be afraid.
All right, so you're referring to room 101, right? That O'Brien and Winston are sort of dancing around in the section that we're reading right now. I think what we've done is sort of demystified the idea that somebody wrote something and therefore it's true. They know to look for, how am I being manipulated as a reader? What am I being asked to think? And how is that thinking being guided by the skills of the writer? Or maybe it's a non-existent terror that just is here? All right, cool. What more can we find?
That the fly represents like Big Brother just because of the fact that like flies are so obnoxious and you want them to go away, but they won't, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I really like that. Okay, good job, guys. Thank you very much. We're going to move now into my big question for you guys today, which is, in the book, in 1984, how is Big Brother watching?
Telescreen.
Telescreen, okay. And what is a telescreen?
Like a TV.
Okay, so it's like a TV. In what way?
It's showing you images and it might be watching you.
Might be watching you. I like that. What else about the telescreen? Okay, so children. Children, thought police. And do the thought police dress in uniforms, and do we know who they are?
No.
Okay. Well, I think my biggest concern in this lesson is going to be bringing the focus back to the text. You know, that one of the big ones from the ERWC that I always keep in mind is that relentless focus on the text. My kids are going to have a lot to say about cell phones, about technology, and they can sometimes kind of get lost in discussions about the things that they feel most comfortable with. This is a mini module. You guys are well acquainted at this point with the ERWC module format, where we go into a writing by thinking about things and by looking other places. And then we get a little bit tighter of a focus into some key concepts. And then we move into a reading, and we pull that reading apart and we talk about it. And then we end up doing some writing of our own that refers back to that reading, but hopefully extends the conversation out into the broader world. Cool? Let's go. This is one of the extra readings that goes with the book itself, and one of the essay questions refers to these more contemporary ideas that are brought in these extra readings. The device in your purse or jeans that you think is a cell phone, guess again. It is a tracking device that happens to make calls. Let's stop calling them phones. They are trackers. They're not as comfortable with text as they are with the ideas that they already have about things. So bringing them back to that text is an important part of what we're going to try to do today. But what I'm asking you to do is kind of do an overview. What do you notice about this? What do you notice? That you do way more texting than telephoning?
Yeah.
Interesting. So say that.
Like when you check your phone,
Check what time it is.
just to check your phone. I do that all the time, but I put 5%.
I do that and then I forget I'm checking the time and I'm like,
Yeah. I passed 100.
Listen to music. Web surfing.
3% phone calls? Really? You never use the phone part? Wow, that is interesting stuff. 2%? The main difference for the kids who are exposed to the ERWC is that they become much more friendly with the idea of text as a way of communicating their unique personal selves. it really gives them some agency to recognize that even the great writers are simply people staring at a piece of paper and trying to figure out how they want to communicate, how they want to put their ideas forward. And when they're faced with doing the same thing, I think it kind of brings out their potential to do great things as well. Knowledge is mediated, you know? We learn from other people, and in our conversations, those conversations don't take place unless there's a space where they can make noise. Can you just explain to us what you know about the Panopticon?
The people that were in that prison are always being watched. So it creates this idea in their head that whatever they do, they're constantly being watched. So they're being dehumanized, basically.
And that's kind of based on the idea that the fewer people you have to have watching prisoners, the more efficiently the prison runs. And especially if we can get the prisoners to sort of police themselves or watch themselves, which is what we were talking about up here. So already we're starting to see some connections here, guys. I hope the kids are going to take away from this lesson the idea that the technological threat that Orwell portrayed in 1984 is something that they can use to question the world that they're living in today. That's about it. I just want them questioning their contemporary decisions.